everything that you're trying to bring. I'm a Leo, I'm a lion, you should just call me king. Looking for the fame, gotta get the cash first. Then I'm going pop with the stars like I'm fireworks.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Welcome back for another reaction video. We got some bars and we hit some barbells a little bit earlier. On a Saturday.
Good leg day.
That was our day at the bar, we'll say. So now we're gonna break down some bars. So as you can see, we're both wearing blue shirts.
This is unintentional. Unintentional.
This tends to happen on occasion between the two of us.
Still on the same wavelength.
Matching colors. So, wasn't planned, but we are planning to do a reaction to Nas Rewind. So Samantha has
it's more
heard
of a me reaction video.
Yeah, because Samantha's heard me talk about Nas a lot.
Yes.
And I've kind of played some stuff in the background for her, but we haven't really dissected Nas a whole lot.
No.
You're not entirely familiar with a lot of his catalog as well, right? Like you know some of it, but
yeah, I would say like I had heard a handful of songs in the past, like the bigger, most popular ones, a couple ones that would be more like considered probably girly, you know. And then I've heard some, like you said, like that'll be thrown on when we're cleaning or whatever. But I've never like sat and really
when we're cleaning. You hear that? I'm a great man. I clean too, guys.
Yes.
Setting the example straight. So, anyways, you were saying you've heard it in the background.
Yeah.
But
I've never really like zoned in and like really taken it in.
Okay, so this is like gonna basically be the first time reacting to this song.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get into it too much because I know the details of this song, and you guys probably that have heard the song will know some specifics around it and why it's a cool song. But I'm not gonna.
All the pressure's on me.
I'm not.
Oh, it's all on me now.
Yeah, you'll be fine. But I'm not going to tell you kind of what it's all about right away. We'll maybe wait like 30 seconds and then so you can digest what's going on.
Okay, cool.
But I love this song. It is off of Stillmatic, I believe, if I'm not getting the album wrong there. But this is one of his earlier songs. It was around the time that, you know, he had the Ether beef and with Jay-Z and
Jay-Z.
She wasn't too familiar with that song either, so I broke the ice to her on that one. But that might be one we want to react to as well because, you know, you've heard it before, but you don't really know the background on the beef between the two of them.
No, just like very loosely from what you've told me, but I just know it because in the beginning he goes, "Fuck Jay-Z."
Yes. So that's from that like kind of era. This is post Illmatic and post some of his notoriety that he's been given. So I think it's cool that he was still coming up creatively with stuff like this song. And it's not like really bar heavy. It's more of the concept and the ideology behind the track of doing something different. He was one of the first people that did something like this on a track. So it's not, like I said, not real bar heavy. It's kind of a shorter track, but I think it's a cool track to react to. So
cool.
So if you guys are ready,
I'm ready.
You're ready. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Listen up, gangsters and honeys with your hair done. Pull up a chair, honey, put it in the air, son. Dog, whatever they call you, God, just listen. I spit a story backwards, it starts at the ending. The bullet goes back in the gun. The bullet holes closing his chest of a nigga. Now he back to square one, screaming, shoot, don't please. I put my fifth back on my hip. It's like a VCR rewinding the hit. He put his
Alright, I don't like this version. I think it is not the greatest quality version. So let's try a different one.
Listen up, gangsters and honeys with your hair done. Pull up a chair, honey, put it in the air, son.
Now I gotta turn that down. That's definitely way better quality.
Yeah, the other one sounded very like muffled.
It sounded like it was recorded off cassette tape.
Alright, let's try this again.
They call you, God, just listen.
I already like get the concept though, it's cool. how he's like starting at the end and he's like reversing through a whole story, like as if it was starting with the ending to get you to the beginning of how it all started.
Right, so you picked it
It
up.
kind of reminds me of like, you know, when you watch a TV show or a movie and they'll be like, they'll show you what happens at the end and then it'll be like flashback and be like 2 days ago. And
Yeah.
then through the whole rest of the show, they like build you up to that ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of.
So you got the idea that we're working in rewind.
Yeah.
That's why the song is called.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Rewind.
I don't even know if I've heard any other like music that's done that.
Listen up, gangsters and honeys with your hair done. Pull up a chair, honey, put it in the air, son. Dog, whatever they call you, God, just listen. I spit a story backwards, it starts at the ending. The bullet goes back in the gun. The bullet holes closing his chest of a nigga. Now he back to square one, screaming, shoot, don't please. I put my fifth back on my hip. It's like a VCR rewinding the hit. He put his hands back on his bitch. My caravan doors open up. I jump back in the van and close it shut, go in reverse. Slowly prepared, my nigga jungle utters out something crazy like, go he there. Sitting back in the...
So like,
Even the words
yeah,
are
like
like
that's
backwards.
That's like pretty cool because if you're just listening to, you probably wouldn't pick up on that, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Shoot, don't please,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, please don't shoot.
Yeah.
Right, and then he's saying like it's cool how
Goes
he's like,
there he goes. Or sorry,
go he there.
go he there, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it's cool too how like Nas is notorious for making you visualize the story.
Yeah.
And he's a great storyteller. And so I think it's really cool this one, like when he's talking about the door, the van door.
Like closing.
Yeah. So
like
he's like
breaking.
he put his hands back on his. My caravan doors open up. I jumped back in the van and closed it shut. So like
You can see almost like going backwards. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you get that visualization of it happening, and then go in reverse, and then slowly prepared because you're slowly prepared. But when you're leading up to it, you know what I mean. You're getting prepared for it. But then he's saying he's going in reverse.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, he starts from the end of the song. So
Yeah.
they just finished with the bullet goes back in the gun.
Yeah.
So it finished with a shooting.
So
obviously.
far, essentially, we have him jumping out of a van, going
Yeah.
and shooting some guy because he has his hands on somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
There, sitting back in his chair, we hitting the ropes. The smoke goes back in the blunt gets bigger and broke. Jungle unrolls it, put his weed back in the jar. The blunt turns back into a cigar. We listen
So that's like sick because he just basically did a whole blunt rolling, you
Yeah,
know,
in
from
reverse.
to the end.
Starting with the jar into,
Yeah.
you know, but going backwards.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so cool.
and like you know, right
Showing
down
the-
to the details
and
of
the
the
blunt
cigar,
finger,
right?
yeah.
You know, like that's again like make you visualize the whole process, right?
They taking apart the Philly.
cigar. We listen to Steve. It sounded like heavy metal fans spinning records backwards of AC/DC. I give my niggas that. Jump out the van back first. Back upstairs. Took off the black shirt. I'm in the crib with the phone in my ear. Listen up so y'all can figure out the poem real clear. The voice on the phone was like outside right we. So with my mouth wide.
So we can see like in that little part of the verse there, he's saying that. Well, he's talking about he was smoking first, right?
Yeah.
And then he got up, went downstairs, got in the van that he just got out of for the shooting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So basically, he's saying somebody hit him up, saying we're outside. He went upstairs, put on his shirt.
yeah,
Went downstairs, like hooked up or linked up with his boys.
Got
We're
in there.
listening to AC/DC, and then smoked a blunt.
no, we were listening to Stevie,
Oh, sorry, Stevie.
and it sounded like
Okay, yeah,
spinning
sorry.
backwards of AC/DC.
Sorry, okay, yeah.
So
I was
he's
like
just
listening
saying
to
that
AC/DC.
because
What?
the music's going in reverse,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
he's
yeah.
saying it's sounding like Stevie, but it's like AC/DC.
Okay, yeah.
So that's again like pretty cool the way he kind of plays on that. But he's saying like he's basically starting at the crib, starting at his house. Somebody calls him up, says, "Yo, we're out right outside," and then it goes into the rest of it. But it's cool, like I said, because we're going from
Yeah,
the
and you can
back
visualize it all.
to the beginning, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Side right weed. So with my mouth wide holding my heat. Bullets I had plenty to squeeze, plenty for ya. Cause Jungle said block your own enemies up. Hung up the phone, then the phone rang. I'm laid in the bed thinking about this pretty young thing who left. She came back, her clothes just fell to the rug. She fell to my bed and gave me a hug. I told her no hell. She talk about me kiss. Bobbed her head, then spit a nut back in my dick. Started sucking with no hands, a whole lot of spit. Then got up and put a bra back on her tits. Got fully dressed and told me stress really I'm. Picked up a Gucci bag and left a nigga behind. Walking through the door, she rang the bell twice. I vomited vodka back in my glass with juice and ice. The clock went back from 3 to 2 to 1, and that's about the time the story begun. That's when I first heard the voicemail on the cell. It said, son, we found that nigga, we got a kid.
son, you hear me? You hear me? Listen, man, this dude right on.
So that's the end of the song. Like, it's just a verse basically with him like doing a little storytelling. But like I think it's cool how like he goes like and fades into like the girl portion of it there. And
So that's the same girl he's talking about at the end that some guy has his hands on, or a different girl?
I think it's probably a different girl.
True.
Because he's saying that they were already looking for this guy
Yeah,
prior
fair
to
enough.
this,
True.
right? So, but I think it's like, obviously we don't have to go into the details of him getting head, but but I think it's you know, it's cool like the way he talks about how her clothes fell down, you know, but
Yeah.
they came back up type thing.
Yeah.
She fell in the she like they were on the bed
And then
first.
she came back up.
But then she came up,
Yeah.
right? And then she put her clothes on type thing.
Yeah.
And then just before that, you know, he's talking about how stressed he is, and that's why she ends up doing what she was doing. But before she even arrived, he puked up vodka, but not actually because
Yes,
he was
he's drinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously the voicemail is where this all started from. So
Yeah. And then they're coming through to go find this guy.
yeah.
Got fully dressed and told me stress really I'm. Picked up a Gucci bag and left a nigga behind. Walking through the door, she rang the bell twice. I vomited, vodka back in my glass with juice and ice. The clock went back from 3 to 2 to 1, and that's about the time the story begun. That's when I first heard the voicemail on the cell. It said, son, we found that nigga, we got a kid.
Hey, yo, son, you hear me? You hear me? Listen, man, this dude right on the block right now, man. I found him right now. I see him right now. Let's kill him.
Yo, this Nas, leave it. Peace.
And then even at the end there, he does like that. Instead of doing, normally you'd have the voicemail come on first, and then somebody leaves a message.
Yeah.
Right, they left
But
the
he did
message
this
first,
And then it,
and
yeah,
then
rewinded to
said no.
his voicemail recording.
I mean, he could have made it more complicated and like had them saying it backwards through that.
Yeah, but I
But-
feel like that would be harder to like
Yeah.
piece together, you know?
Yeah, no, but I think like overall this is very
Yeah, no, it's really
Cool.
cool. Creative for sure. And
Yeah.
like you said, very visual. Like you can, the whole thing you can picture like in your head as
Yeah.
he's explaining it.
But the funny thing is, like, so many people listen to the song, they have no idea he's saying it backwards the whole time, right? Like, because you listen to him speaking about, you know, the part about the blunt and how, like, he's smoking the blunt or he's having a drink, or
Yeah.
it sounds like he's just saying that he's puking or he's rolling a
Yeah,
blunt
he's,
or
like,
he's got a
partying.
girl or whatever. But he's
Yeah.
done all those things in reverse.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because you still get the story, you still get the same vibes, but you did it backwards.
Yeah, in a creative way, it's cool.
So yeah, he was
Makes
one
you
of the.
think like about, you know, piecing it all
Yeah.
together.
And I think it's good that it's also, you know, it's not too long. It's 2 minutes. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a short story that he throws on the album, but
Yeah.
it's a classic song at the same time because, like, he was one of the first artists, like I said, to kind of make a pretty established song that moves in reverse. I'm pretty sure there was other people that did, you know, one or two
Something
songs
similar,
before
yeah.
that, and there's definitely been people after that that have done similar things of, you know, rewinding or doing it in reverse.
Yeah.
But overall,
Well, I was gonna say that the only other person that I can think of off the top of my head that's been able to make me like visualize a story as clear as that has been Immortal Technique, and their songs are so long.
yeah,
So I mean, like, don't get me wrong, they're great, but it's like when you listen to it, it's like a 5 or 6 minute long story, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like this was, like you said, quick, like, and easier to follow, but it was still really creative and like visual and easy.
yeah.
to
Nas is definitely one of the best storytelling rap artists out there. Like, even New York State of Mind, which is like, you know, one of my favorite songs of one of my favorite albums of all time, Illmatic. It's, you know, that same concept of he always is able to paint the picture for you of, like, in New York State of Mind, like what New York is exactly like.
Yeah.
And like no other artist really, I think, encapsulate what he does from that respect. Like, Eminem is great at what he does with his rhyme schemes and everything, but I don't think many other artists are as good at storytelling as Nas is.
Yeah, no, they have completely different styles. Like Eminem is great with his like obviously his like the way he has dual meanings in things, and he comes up with like clever puns and stuff like that, but it's not a very like visual, you can't like listen to it and like really clearly visualize what
Yeah.
he's talking about. You're like, oh my god, like slow down, right? Whereas with him, like you can listen to this and like really be like, wow, like you can close your eyes and almost have a
Yeah.
full movie in your head.
exactly.
It's really cool.
So, that might mean we need to do a few more Nas songs. He's got quite the catalog. So
we got best storytelling rap songs. Maybe we should do some of those.
that's true. I didn't even notice that was on the screen, but very fitting. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction video today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, like the video.
Turn on notifications.
Yeah, turn on the notifications. All that stuff helps us create content for you guys that you like, which is what we want to do.
Any requests, drop them in the comments.
Yeah, we're always open to requests. And, we just enjoy doing these reaction videos to really good music because we love music.
Yep.
The other thing that we love is fitness, which mentioned at the
Bars
beginning.
and barbells.
So if you guys need any, motivation or assistance or anything like that with the fitness side of things, be sure to check out our other social media platforms for that. So,
Yep.
like I said, any recommendations, anything you guys liked, anything we missed, anything you guys want to mention about the song that you enjoyed, leave it in the comments below. Other than that, we'll be back soon with another reaction.